This is the Saskatchewan Real Estate Podcast.
Hello and welcome back to the Saskatchewan Real Estate Podcast, your home for all things Saskatchewan, all things real estate. One of my favorite things to do on this podcast is focus on Saskatchewan communities because I think there are so many hidden gems out there. And to help us do that today is the broker owner of Access Real Estate, Liz Spetz. Liz, thank you so much for coming on today. And you are going to be helping us share about the community of Shaunavon.
Yes. Shaunavon is my hometown. And I have been lucky enough to live here and raise my kids and have my business here. So what we have is a population of about 1,800 people. Shaunavon is kind of a hub for the rest of the southwest corner of Saskatchewan here. So we take in a lot of little communities along the South Line, Climax, Frontier, Val-Marie. We work with East End, everywhere in that kind of area. We're the last point that is a full service community, meaning we have doctors, lawyers, dentists, all those kinds of good things. And yeah, we have a really great population and a good vibe going on here. It's good.
That's amazing. Walk us through some of the economic drivers that kind of keep people employed in Shaunavon.
Well, primarily we're an agricultural community. So we do see a strong ag force here. We have two dealerships, Pattison Ag and Rocky Mountain Equipment. So that covers off some of that area. We have Viterra and Nutrient Foods and things like that here as well. So as far as having other employers, we have an actual hospital here with doctors and long-term care. We have a 44-bed long-term care center, which is a large employer in our community. We see a lot of healthcare workers. And with that, we also have, for a community our size, we're lucky enough to have a branch of Saskatchewan Abilities here. So this is an important employer in our community as well, because they look after people who need a little help with life and everything. We have some group homes here. I believe they have about 20 participants and about 45 staff. So it is a big employer as well. Along with that, Shaunavon has 3 schools. We have a full complement of recreation. So there's lots to do, lots to see, and lots to enjoy.
That's amazing. One thing I really love about small Saskatchewan communities is even though you have a smaller population, let's say only 1,800 people, you do have all of these amenities and groups as you kind of perfectly outlined there. And so the population number doesn't do justice to the amount of things that you have access to. So I think you said it really well, Liz. We do like to talk about real estate on the Saskatchewan Real Estate Podcast. Give us an idea of housing there, Liz, from primary residence to rentals. Walk us through the real estate market a bit.
All right. Shaunavon actually has a total stock of around 900 possible homes. And with that, right now, we have about 45 listings on our market. We have had sales of 22 listings so far right in Shaunavon, which makes our numbers like really positive as far as sales compared to how many listings we have. With that as well, we have quite a few rental opportunities. We have a few multi-unit complexes, like an 18-suiter, 12-suiters, 4-plexes. On the rental side of things, which we do property management as well, we're finding that our rentals are full. So this is really great for a small town like this because it's giving us employees that are broadening out our base here. I mean, we have our local co-op store, I know always has people looking for work and needing to fill those roles in our community. So a lot of our tenants that we do rent to are in that healthcare field or are in the teaching field because we have 3 schools. It's interesting to see that we're able to provide housing for the jobs that are available here.
And an excellent tenant profile if you're talking about teachers, nurses, doctors. Walk us through, Liz, maybe not super in-depth, but give us an idea. Can you find cash flowing rentals in Shaunavon?
Yes, yeah, we've had a couple multi-units for sale here in the last little while, and what we're seeing is that our vacancy rate is basically down to zero now. We have nothing available. We're starting with waiting lists in the area because neighboring towns, such as Frontier, Saskatchewan, actually has a manufacturing plant that seems to be going great guns, honeybee manufacturing, and they need space for their workers as well as Canadian Border Services. So, I mean, it's not just in the actual Shaunavon area, but the whole surrounding area as well has those opportunities.
Is there seasonality in the rental market, Liz? Is it something that you see where you can go through periods of vacancy and non-vacancy, or is it a fairly stable rental market from that side?
In the past, we did see a lot of ups and downs, especially with a strong oil field presence like we have. When we had a lot of drilling going on in our area, when we were at the point where we had 7 or 8 drilling rigs, we did see that seasonality where as soon as spring breakup came, everything would just die off. We would have 20% vacancy, but then it would start to fill up over the summer. Now it seems as though the job culture has changed a little bit to more full time, year round employees. So we're not seeing those ups and downs that we had in the past.
Which is very positive for someone looking to get into the market, because I know that can be a concern about southern Saskatchewan sometimes, of what you've heard that, when the oil dies off, then the real estate market kind of follows that. But you're saying that there's been a lot more work. There's more work that's been done in the community that's helped to taper that off. That the jobs don't necessarily die off with the seasons.
Exactly, exactly. One of the things that's kind of interesting about our oil fields, we're seeing a lot more of the actual workers are in Swift Current and they drive out this way. So that's taken some of the burden off of, our local market and given those opportunities to people who do get full-time jobs, let's say at the co-op or in healthcare or at the school.
Walk us through, if someone wanted to move into Shaunavon, they have a young family, there's potential job opportunities there. What could we tell them about facilities and amenities that are around the community? I know you've gone through a few, Liz, but are there any others to highlight?
Well, especially with families, families are a sweet spot here. I mean, it is a great community for kids. We have 3 schools. We have 2 elementary schools. One is a public elementary school, K-7, and then a K-7 Catholic elementary school, and then a combined high school. With that, we have all the things that kids could ever want. We have dance, we have hockey, we have pickleball, we have you name it, football, all the sports are all covered. And with that, we've seen that our local museum has started art programs and reading programs for youth. We're lucky enough that our school system also has a great staff of people who work as teacher aides, or if you need counseling or anything like that, they cover and make sure that these kids have all the opportunities that you were looking for. With that too, Shaunavon is not geographically huge. It's only a mile wide by a mile deep. So it's really walkable. We have tons of green spaces, lots of parks, an amphitheater. This summer, one of our local residents, Ty Hunter, who's one of the Hunter brothers, put on an arts camp for a week for kids from 5 to 18. And it was full. It was full. They sold out in the first week that they advertised. So just lots of opportunities is music wise, arts, culture, everything. Yeah.
You guys are blessed with good artists in that corner of the province, because like Swift Current's not that far away, and that's the home of Coulter Wall. You have the Hunter Brothers, an amazing music scene going on in Shaunavon and area.
We do. In fact, this summer, just down the road from us, 31 kilometers away, the little town of East End had the Big Flat Folk Festival that they put on for the first time, which sold out the first 3 weeks. All the tickets were gone. You couldn't get, it was a full day of music. They've already started planning the next one. Just a huge hit. What a great boon for our area, because in the past we used to have the Frenchman Valley Gospel Jamboree, which brought a ton of people to our area. But now with Big Flat, I think that's going to fill that void. And yeah, the music keeps going. We've had a lot of people move to Shaunavon from the West Coast, and they're all very, very musical. So it's kind of cool when they have an open mic night at the Harvest Restaurant that these people come in and play the guitars and sing their songs. It's amazing.
Give us an indication, Liz. Is Shaunavon in a growing trajectory? Is it fairly stagnant? Is it declining? Walk us through what you're seeing as far as the demographics of the town.
What I'm seeing is we've seen a lot more younger families come to our area. So I believe that we're in a growth stage. With that, though, I know the town itself is eager for more growth. They are looking to try and attract anyone who wants to put manufacturing or any kind of facility here that we can, like, the town is willing to tax incentivize any kind of business like that that brings more jobs and more people to the area.
Brilliant. Liz, we kind of skipped it a little bit at the beginning, but just give us an outline of your history of being a realtor and a property manager, how long you've been in the industry, and then just finish off with your contact details. If someone's listening to this and they say, hey, I either want to move to Shaunavon or I potentially have an interest in investing there, just give us that breakdown, Liz.
Sure. In 2006, I went out on a limb and I thought, oh, this is something that I'm really interested in. My husband and I were serial renovators. So we have renovated our homes to death. And the interest in housing was there. So I became licensed in 2006. And in 2015, I bought the business from my employer. So since 2015, I've owned and operated the business here, and we do any kind of sales there are out there, residential, commercial, farm, you name it. With that, we also have a property management end to our business. So we look after just under 200 doors, as we call them. And I think the most enjoyable part of being in this industry is seeing how it changes and seeing how housing trends can be met and people discovering that the affordability of living in a small, fully serviced town like Shaunavon, that they find they can live well and, you know, prosper with their children. That's for sure. So it's been a cool industry for me. Yeah. So we are located here in Shaunavon, right on Center Street, and available all the time at our office number is 306-297-3771, or you can contact me at access.liz@sastel.net. We like to keep things simple and, you know, easy.
Brilliant. Liz, two last questions before I let you go. What would you say is kind of a hidden factor of Shaunavon that only someone who kind of has grown up there knows about? Or what's your kind of like special detail that everyone should know about the town?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I think one of the most interesting things from growing up in the area is all the little hidden pockets that you can find of true prairie beauty, uh, be it Grasslands National Park or our local regional park, Pine Creek. All these little areas, even just to go for a drive, you see the wildlife and you see just the beauty of the prairies, which sometimes gets overlooked because everybody always thinks the mountains are more beautiful. But I mean, it's more of a subtle beauty here that you can really learn to appreciate.
To each their own, Liz. When I drive in the mountains, I get claustrophobic. I'm happy to get back out to the prairies where I can see that, oh yeah, things will grow here. It's not all just, bare rock.
Well, exactly. It's nothing but sunshine and blue skies. And I think one of the things that we're seeing more and more is the amount of artists and writers and painters that are coming to our area and exploring this place and being able to show in their vision what they see here is it's just truly incredible when you meet these people.
Last question for you, Liz. If you could go back to a younger version of yourself and give yourself some advice, what would that advice be?
I would say that I probably would have taken a few more chances, a few more leaps. Going into business was a big thing, and it's hard. Like being in business is never easy, but I probably would have maybe done that sooner. And I would probably tell myself to learn to relax a little bit more and enjoy the time that you have with people, because that's the real connection you make. The people that I meet throughout my career who've come to this area, and it's just been an absolute pleasure to get to know them and even try to help them find what housing they were looking for.
That's wonderful. It's been really nice chatting with you, Liz, and learning about Shaunavon and area. It sounds like you probably could go on for hours talking about the wonderful community. So I would highly encourage anyone who's interested in Shaunavon to reach out to Liz. And I just wanted to say thanks so much for coming on to the podcast and sharing about Shaunavon.
Well, thanks, Ron. If you're down this way, I'll take you on my $2 Shaunavon tour in my car and show you all the highlights of what's available in town and what there is to see. Yeah, absolutely. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Be careful. I'm absolutely going to take you up on that.
That'd be awesome.
Thanks for checking out this episode of the Saskatchewan Real Estate Podcast. I hope you liked it, found some value here. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe button. 2 things before you go. Number 1, if you'd like the chance to win your mortgage payment, simply recommend me as a mortgage broker. The person you recommend, if I do a discovery call with them, you can win up to $2,500 for a win your mortgage payment or to cover off your rent. Simply recommend me as a mortgage broker and you're entered into the draw. Secondly, the Saskatchewan Real Estate Podcast is teaming up with the Saskatchewan Realtors Association as they host the State of Real Estate coming up in September. If you'd like a discount on your ticket, come say hi to me at the event. Simply enter promo code RON10 when you're buying your ticket, and we'll see you there. Until next week, I'm Ron Caroni, your Saskatchewan mortgage professional. Bye for now.